Welcome to the other side. I am your host, Wesley, and this is my co-host, Will.
There is no will. There is only doom.
And that was just one of many dumb fucking lines. That what the hell, Fox? What I don't get it at this point. Okay, so what you're telling us is that without Bryan Singer, you guys can't make a superhero movie to save your ass. Because essentially he's the only one who's made really good ones. The first two Fantastic Fours were okay. They're not, arguably they're not the best superhero movies out there. Some people like them. But today we're going to talk about the Fantastic Fuck Up.
The Fantastic Flop. This movie was doomed from the very beginning when you start reading some of the articles about it. When they went back, I don't know what they went back and reshot, refilmed, or whatever. I couldn't see it. I had read some of the reviews before I walked into this movie, and I thought, hey, keep an open mind, watch the movie. And it sucks. Don't go see this movie unless you have nothing better to do.
In fact, I'm going to play a little game during this review. Every time I hear a reboot trope, which, for those of you who don't know, a trope is a common theme you see in certain genres. They have them in sci-fi and everything. In reboots, I've noticed that a trope is like changing the backstory, like Uncle Ben's dying a different way, or Xavier and Mystique growing up together, which they never did. Or, I'm going to take a shot every time they do something in this movie that they did in the original movie and didn't have to do. Anything that sounds familiar, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to be nice and liquored up by the time this is done, which is probably the best way to go watch the movie. So let's start the review.
I was going to say, you just want to get drunk, like Victor Von Doom and Reed Richards and Johnny Storm do before they decide they're going to go to the other dimension. We'll start from the beginning. So the movie starts with them being kids. They grow up together. Reed Richards does his experiments, and they're trying to make it to the... Well, he doesn't know in the beginning that it's another dimension. Something goes away and it comes back and there's sand on it, whatever. They don't know it's from another dimension, alternate universe, whatever the hell they're calling it. And by the time Franklin, who is Sue Storm, and Johnny Storm's dad, Sue Storm's adopted in this movie, by the time the movie gets to them discovering Reed Richards, because Reed Richards is at a science fair, and Franklin and Sue run into him, they like the work that he's doing, and come to find out they were doing the same work, they could send stuff to this dimension, but they couldn't bring it back. So Reed Richards, that's where Reed Richards comes in. He knows how to bring stuff back. They work together. They recruit Victor Von Doom, who formerly worked with them, but now he's working by himself. And, actually he's just kind of outcast, hanging out by himself. And they get Victor Von Doom to come back, and he's kind of the Doom, the world sucks type of mentality. I mean, it wasn't that it was just the cheesy lines. It was... Anyways. As the story progresses, they work together, they build the contraption so that the vehicle to go to this alternate dimension. That's where it just starts to go downhill. They tell them that after the investors see the experiment that's a success, they want to get the government involved. We need to send astronauts over there.
Which makes plenty of sense.
Yeah, to check things out. But Franklin had told Reed Richards and his group that they would be the first ones to go.
Which makes no fucking sense at all.
Right. So anyways, after hearing this news, Victor's pretty much like, see, I told you they all suck. How about we go have a drink? Which I was all for that part. Anyways, so Reed Richards and Johnny Storm and Victor are all having a drink, and Reed Richards is like, hey, I know. Why don't we jump in the contraption and go to the alternate or the other dimension on our own? Except I'm going to call my buddy Ben, who's been there with me from the beginning, to come hang out with me. So they jump on board this thing, and it works. They go to the other dimension and they get their powers. Victor gets left behind while the rest of them come back to the science lab, and everything goes to hell, and you can watch that part for yourself if you want to waste your time this weekend. The romance between Reed Richards and Susan Storm. Something, if you've read the comic books, you're very familiar with. Non-existent. Just little flirts and her acting like a stuck-up bitch. Kate Mara is the invisible girl because she shouldn't even have been in the movie. She doesn't really do anything. She didn't add anything to the movie. the tension that if you were a fan of the Fantastic Four, the tension between Human Torch and Ben Grimm was basically saved for the very end of the movie with a little one-liner joke that was ridiculous. This movie has, I would say, 3 or 4 sets. You have the science lab, you have the alternate dimension, and you have a military base. Once they take you from them getting their powers, they take you to the military base, and that's where they've been being tested.
Yeah, so they're put into seclusion so they can be tested to see what happened to them.
Exactly.
Just like the original.
Yeah. Anyway, Reed Richards ends up escaping, and they make a deal, or thing. He's already the rock form. He's upset. Reed Richards been gone for a while. One of the investors says...
Wait, so Thing gets mad at Reed?
Yeah.
God damn it.
So, Reed Richards gets away. He says, "Don't worry, Ben, I'm going to fix this." He's been gone for a year.
Wait, Reed's gonna cure the Thing?
Yeah. So, anyways, he's been gone, like I said, for a year. And the science dude, the investor, he's basically, "Ben, if you do some favors for us, we can cure you." So, Ben Grimm's running around with the military, kicking ass and taking names. Johnny Storm is basically getting to the level where he gets to go and help. You only see Johnny Storm fly around with some drones and take them out. That's his testing. An invisible girl is practicing using her force field and flying up in the air. But they can't make the machine again. They need Reed Richards. So they find Reed Richards thanks to Invisible Girl and the Thing. And he comes back, helps them fix it, and they go back to the alternate dimension where they find Doom. And Doom's really pissed off. Shows back up at the science lab and basically starts wiping everybody out by making their heads explode. Powers that I've never seen Victor Von Doom do.
It's really weird. I mean, Doom really does have a grab bag of powers in the comics. He keeps adding things to his outfit.
It's his
suit.
And
also his access to magic. I mean, Doom has a really complex backstory, but yeah, making people's heads explode, can't recall seeing him pull that one out of his bag of tricks.
He didn't really look like Doom. He looked like he had one of those plastic masks that you put over your face, a clear one. And then they had glow-in-the-dark green eyes.
Yes, and that's my problem with this character. I mean, Doom has had so many outfits, iterations over the years in the comics. Why can't you do a decent-looking Doctor Doom? Marvel wasn't afraid to put Thor and Loki in their goofy-ass Asgard outfits on the big screen. Why make Doom look like shit?
This Slipknot mask looks more like Doom than Doom did. It's ridiculous. So anyways... Doom's like all mad, "Hey, you took me from my world. I don't want to be in this world because it sucks," and all this stuff. And he ends up killing, as he's leaving, he ends up killing, I guess you could say, kind of his mentor, Franklin. He kills Human Torch and Sue Storm's dad and goes to the alternate dimension. And you get to see the fake tears of Human Torch and Invisible Girl over the loss of their dad, and they're like, "Well, we gotta go stop Dr. Doom."
And doesn't he just throw rocks at them through the fight?
Yeah, Doom. It's really funny in the fight in the alternate dimension. Why do I keep wanting to say alternate dimension? The fight,
the same thing.
Okay, in the fight, Doom doesn't use his head explosion power. He's hurling rocks.
It'd be a good time to whip that one out.
He's hurling rocks at the Fantastic Four.
So the finale, the showdown with the main villain of this movie is essentially a boss battle from a 16-bit video.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I was watching it. It's basically he who cast the first stone, and that would have been Doom. Anyways, they knock Doom in the little portal. He comes, I guess he would zip back to Earth. I don't know where the hell he went. Don't really care. Then the Fantastic Four show up, or go through the portal, and then the Fantastic Four shows back up at the lab. And then you see them talking to the military dudes, and they're like, "No one, we can never thank you enough for saving the world," which was basically just a military base that got sucked up. Because as Doom left, he left on some portal, and it was sucking up the military base and some trees.
And it left a big hole in the ground?
Yeah, it left a big hole in the ground like Silver Surfer did.
Okay.
Anyways, so then Fantastic Four is back at the base, and they're trying to come up with a name for their group. There's no tears about Franklin, who basically got them together to build the damn thing in the first place. Nobody gives a rat's ass about him. He's dead. And Thing makes a comment about, they're trying to come up with a name, and Thing makes a comment about being fantastic, and they're like, Reed Richards is like, that's a good idea. And the damn movie goes off. It says Fantastic freaking Four. It's Batman and Robin and maybe Supergirl were probably better than this movie. I would say they were better than this movie. And I knew it was going to be a waste going in there, but I had to see it for myself. I wanted to stay open-minded, and that's why we do this show. Okay. So I will pay to go see shitty movies, so you don't have to.
Yes, this is spoiler-full review.
Oh, yeah.
Because we don't want you to waste your money. And,
Fantastic flop.
Fox, keep Bryan Singer in a dungeon so you can keep him making X-Men movies. Because without him, you're lost. Okay, this Fantastic Four movie goes all the way back. The first time we remember hearing about it was when they said, you know, we want to make Fantastic Four grittier and darker, like the Dark Knight. Then they sat on this idea, and while Warner Brothers, Bryan Singer, and Marvel showed everybody how to make a superhero movie, and then they fucked it up. So essentially it started, you saw The Dark Knight and you were like a little kid that saw another kid on a shiny bike and you said, oh, I want that. But you had no idea how to get that. So you took the first superhero team, the family-friendly Fantastic Four, and we want to dark them up and gritty them up, and when you didn't have to. All you gotta do is tell a story about four people with amazing powers that fight either Doctor Doom, Annihilus, Galactus, hell, even Mole Man. They fought more people than Doctor Doom. We've seen Doctor Doom in 3 fucking Fantastic Four movies. I know, he is the Magneto. Actually, they did the same thing with Magneto and X-Men.
There were no real character developments. Johnny Storm and Sue Storm don't really get along worth a shit. Nobody cared Franklin died. Reed Richards, Susan Storm's a snotty bitch to Reed Richards. Ben Grimm doesn't even like Reed Richards. I'm like, what are you gonna do for a sequel? Have Reed Richards and Sue Storm have a kid just so you can do child abuse scenes? I mean, this movie is freaking ridiculous.
They won't have one.
Don't go see it. It's
done. They will hope.
And the fact that they even think that they're going to do an X-Men Fantastic Four movie, the only thing you'd accomplish by that is screwing up the X-Men franchise. Exactly. Which with their shitty Apocalypse, they're on the same path.
Exactly. So Fox, leave X-Men in Bryan Singer's capable hands, even though we think Apocalypse looks like shit. I have no doubt that X-Men Apocalypse will be a good movie. I trust Bryan Singer. With Fantastic Four, it's just the next example of Amazing Spider-Man, which Sony did to keep Spider-Man out of Marvel's hands, which, by the way, welcome home, Spidey. Marvel will treat you nicely. And I think Fox is going to follow suit with the Fantastic Four.
They may have had a post-credit scene I haven't read online to see, because by the time it said Fantastic Four and the credits started rolling, I didn't give a shit. I didn't give a shit about this movie once they started building their little contraption to go to the other dimension. It was ridiculous. And Doom was definitely by far the worst villain. This movie sucked. I have a top 10 list. Top 10
Oh yeah,
things.
Let's get to that. We like top 10s. We haven't done one in a while. Here is top 10 things you can do instead of watching the new Fantastic Four movie.
Number 10, clean your bathroom, or hey, even clean a public restroom.
Hey, yeah, that'd be
Doesn't
fun.
matter. Number 9, read the entire dictionary in one sitting.
Oh,
that would be a challenge.
Yeah.
About as challenging as watching this.
And once
movie.
you get to shitty, you'll see Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Number 8, search for Bigfoot, just like searching for character development in this movie. Number 7, practice for next year's hot dog eating contest. That would be entertaining.
Yeah.
Hey. Number 6, give your cat a haircut.
Always fun.
That's challenging. If you're into exercising, I say number 5, run from New York to California. That would be more entertaining. Number 4.
And less of a waste of time than this movie.
Number 4, get a colonoscopy. I mean, you know, it equaled the shit that this movie was.
Exactly, and they filmed that, so you'd make a movie about as good.
Yep. Number 3, write to every one of your Facebook friends a handwritten letter.
That'd be difficult for friend collectors.
Yeah. Number 2, listen to every speech Joe Biden has ever given in Russian. And number 1, the number 1 thing you should do, besides see Fantastic Four in theaters right now.
That you have to pay for, by the way.
Watch every episode of The Other Side with Wesley and Will. You'll have a better time. This is The Other Side.
And it's
we're
free.
out.